Hey, it's Captain Matt, Motor Secret Weapon. I'm out here on a beautiful, Thursday afternoon, and doing some video work and adding a little bit to a couple of our programs on navigation. I'm here on the part of Lake Wylie that has some navigation buoys, some danger buoys. So I figured this would be a great spot to put this together and add to the boating amplifier toolkit and share it with you as well. So you can see I had a few folks that requested that I commentate a little bit as some of the videos where I'm cruising around. So I got some copyright strikes for playing by radio. I didn't even think about it, that you can't do that. So I can't have the radio on, and instead of just sitting here listening to nothing, I figured I would commentate a little bit, and maybe I'll add some extra music in after the fact. So anyway, we're here on Lake Wylie. This is up ahead of me. You can see that's 85, Interstate 85, where it's crossing over. So on the left side of the bank, well, actually here everything's North Carolina, but as we get a little bit further down on this lake, one side of the bank is North Carolina, the other side of the bank is South Carolina, and the state line somewhere in the middle. So when it comes to fishing licenses, law enforcement, this lake is actually governed by, we've got North and South Carolina sheriffs, we've got U.S. Coast Guard because it's a federal waterway. We also have, let's see, Gaston County, Mecklenburg County, York County, as well as Belmont, the town of Belmont, and I believe the town of Gastonia and Gaston County. I think they run the same boats, but there's all sorts of different law enforcement, all sorts of different rules on this lake. But that's where we're at. Right up the way. No, actually, it's up here just a little bit in front of us. We'll probably pass it. Is the U.S. National Whitewater Center. The Whitewater Center they kind of diverted some of the water from the river, and it's where the United States whitewater rafting team and kayakers practice, and they do their trials there as well. So it's a really cool area. They've got a nice restaurant there. They've got hiking trails, biking trails. It's really pretty cool. So in this area, the bridges are all no wake zones. So we're gonna idle under the bridge here. You can hear all the interstate traffic behind us, or above us, I guess. And I-85 runs from Charlotte down to Atlanta, is one of the big stops. All right, so we're gonna cruise here. This is the little bit more rivery part of Lake Wylie. And one of the things I wanted to point out as we're cruising here is this navigation buoy right up here. It's actually a danger buoy. You can see with the diamond shape, that tells you that there's a danger in that area. Now, that buoy is anchored down to the bottom, but we're in about 12 feet of water here. So what can happen is, because this waterway, the depth raises and lowers as they're letting water in and out of the hydroelectric dams, that there probably is maybe 20 foot of chain attaching that to the anchor at the bottom of the lake. What can happen is, that means that buoy is not straight over the obstruction. That buoy is near the obstruction. So instead of cutting it close and being anywhere near it, you want to stay well clear of any of those buoys that have the diamond. If it has the diamond and the cross, that tells you it's a restricted area and you can't go near it. But it's a danger. Anytime you see a buoy like that, you know it's either slow down, idle speed, danger, underwater obstruction, or a restricted area. Those are the big ones. But it can just be a buoy out in the middle of nowhere, kind of like this one is. Looks like it may be a no-wake buoy. It's kind of close to that person's dock. But the reality is there's a shoal there or something that can cause some serious problems. So know what your navigation buoys mean so that you don't damage your boat, ruin your boating day. All right, so let's continue on down. And this part of the river, it's a river, so there's some channels that you got to stay in. We're still in 8 feet of water here, so we're in pretty good shape. And this is a 22-foot South Bay with a 140 Suzuki 4-stroke. It's a really nice running engine. It's got some good pick-me-up. Obviously, it's just me here on the water, but it's got some good pick-me-up, and it runs nice and smooth. See again, here off our starboard bow, you can see more of those buoys. Again, they look like they may be idle speed, no wake zone markers, but if you see the diamond on them, you can see they're actually marking a danger area. You can see a tree down. It gets really, really shallow over there. We're in 12 feet now, but if I was to get a little bit closer, we'll probably hit a point where it starts to drop real, real fast. It seems like you would want to stay, you can stay to the right and be okay, but the reality is you kind of need to funnel into the channel here. Yeah, we're starting to go down. We're at 10 feet now, and I'm not even cutting straight in that direction. Now we're down to 9 feet. So if we continue to go, we would start heading towards that danger area. Understanding that those buoys actually are trying to tell you something is very important. So we're gonna just idle around them. We're down to 7 feet right here already. So we're gonna get back out into a little bit deeper water. This bridge up ahead is Wilkinson Boulevard. This runs, if you were to take it straight that way, you would go directly into uptown Charlotte. You would run right into 277 and in the center of downtown where all the banks are and all the activity is. It's a really cool downtown area. And if you go out this way, well, actually the Charlotte airport is right about there. Probably not even a mile, not even hear a plane coming overhead. All right, so now these buoys that we see are actually no wake markers. So these no wake buoys are telling us, hey, this is a bridge. You need to be no wake. I believe it's 50 feet on either side of the bridge. So we're gonna no wake through here. It's a beautiful day. We're before Memorial Day, we're Cinco de Mayo, the 5th of May. We're out here and nice and quiet. I towed somebody in earlier this afternoon. I was actually heading up to Tail Race Marina, where I was going to film some videos, just some scripted videos that I needed to get done. And as I was heading up this way, they were waving their hands and waving a white shirt, and I saw 3 boaters go right on by them. And so I had the time. I had to get on a phone call at noon, and I was coming by at about 11:15. So I was able to pull them up the lake a little ways, get them safely to this boat ramp right here, and get them all secured to the dock. They got tied up on their trailer, loaded up, and we're all ready to go. So anytime you see a fellow boater in need, at least stop and ask if you can do anything. If you don't have the skills or the time or the equipment to tow them safely, the least you can do is get them an anchor out, get them secured, and or get them off to a secure spot, or call Sea-Tow or call somebody that can give them a hand if that's appropriate. But always try to help your fellow boaters. Okay, so this is the area that I wanted to show you when it comes to navigation. On Lake Wylie, we don't have a lot of navigational markers. It's a pretty easy lake other than some danger shoal markers. We don't have a lot of channels marked. This is one of the few areas. And you can see we've got green markers on our right, and we've got red markers on our left. We've got the cans. Green is called cans. The red are kind of cylindrical shaped or cone shaped, and they're called nuns. Don't worry about the technical jargon if you don't care, but that's the real names for them. You've got cans and nuns. Cans are green, nuns are red. Now, the rule is to keep yourself on track is red, right, returning. So if you're going up the river, you want to keep the red nuns on your right, on your starboard side, okay? If you're going downriver, like we are right now, you want to keep the green on your starboard side, on your right. And you can see, as you look down the channel, you can see we got green, red, green, red, green, red, all the way through this section, and it's going to keep us right in the middle of the channel. So it's important to know what direction you're going. If you're at the coast, the same thing applies. Red, right, returning from the ocean into smaller water, from the harbor into the creek or to the rivers, from the rivers into the creeks. And as you're going upriver, you're going to keep the reds on your right. We're going downriver right now, and if you can't tell, you don't know, just kind of pause and see which way the current's taking you if there's some current. So as we go through this area, we're in 15 feet of water. This is kind of our little street that we're going to keep between. I'm always going to be on the lookout for where's the next one that I see. And I see my next red is right here. My green is way off onto the side about 1 o'clock. So as we're pushing down this channel, stay in between them. It's really simple. Once you know if you're going upriver or downriver, which one you keep on one side. There's still going to be other markers. There's a danger buoy right about 11 o'clock. So I want to stay well clear of that. I see my next green one here about 2 o'clock. Then I've got my red one, my nun at about 11 o'clock. And I see my next green can at about 1 o'clock. And I'm just staying right in the middle of this marked channel, this designated channel. And again, as you come up on the bridge in this area, the local rules state you're at a no-wake zone. So we're going to come to a no-wake zone. Obviously that pontoon ahead of us doesn't care too much about the no wake zone, but that we're gonna follow the rules. So, all right, what we're gonna do is now we're gonna turn around. Okay, and now we're going upriver. So when we're going upriver, we're going to keep the reds on the right. Red, right, returning up the river, okay? So now we're going to keep the reds on our right. And if there was another boat coming, we still use the same rules of the road. If there's a boat coming, we still stay to starboard to the right and pass port to port, pass left side to left side, and they'll come down on their side of the channel, we'll go on our side of the channel, and the traffic can easily pass, okay? So again, we see our green can there at about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. We've got our red nun. We're gonna keep that on our right side at about 1 o'clock. Our danger marker, we're going to stay well clear right here off our starboard side. You see our next green can there at about 11 o'clock. You see our next red nun at about 1 o'clock. We're just going to stay on our side of the channel and in between those markers. Now we see our next green can there about 11 o'clock. Now we get to our bridge and our no wake zone. So here's the biggest challenge when you're navigating in a marked channel is knowing reds on the right or greens on the right. Which is right depends on, are you going upriver? Are you going downriver? Are you going from big water to little water at the coast? So that's going to be the telltale sign. Now, if you're on the intercoastal waterway, we talk about in the coastal version, there's a few different things that you need to know on the intercoastal waterway, and we'll talk about that in the coastal edition. So for most bodies of water, if you're inland, that's going to give you what you need to know. The hardest part is really finding that next can or nun. It's important to be on the lookout and to look far ahead. Try to see what's happening up ahead so that you can see which way that you may need to navigate. And also be aware of the other markers that are around. There very well may be a no-wake buoy or a danger buoy, as we saw, and that's going to keep you out of trouble.